Welcome into the show a very, very, very special guest, one of Georgia's most recent commitments in the 2027 recruiting class, a legacy prospect, which we'll talk a little bit more about throughout the show. But it is 6'6", 305-pound offensive lineman from Lucy Beckham High School in South Carolina, Ty Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we're going to go back a couple weeks now. I've been trying to get this guy on the show for a few weeks now. We've let it rest a little bit after his commitment. I want to go back to that Saturday where you went up for a spring practice and you officially let the world know that you were committing to the University of Georgia. What was that day like for you, being able to show up to Georgia as a commit, kind of live out a lifelong dream of yours?
Yeah, I mean it was pretty surreal to say the least. I mean, I had known maybe a month before that I was kind of what I wanted to do. I'd obviously, I mean, talked to Kirby, all Coach Rousher, all the that I had kind of gotten there, everything had posted. So like kind of as soon as I walked in, everyone's seeing in like real time that I just committed. So it was awesome to say the least. Just whole day, everyone coming up, saying congratulations. Just kind of it was pretty cool. It was awesome to say the least.
I know any day that any player is committing to the school that they're going to, it's obviously going to be, an emotional day. But I know for you in particular, like you grow up in a Georgia household, you're the son of a former Georgia offensive lineman, it's in your blood. Like, let's go back to the very beginning. Like, do you even remember, like, what is your first Georgia football memory from your childhood?
Yeah, I mean, I have pictures when I was like 3 years old, like with my parents at a Georgia game, just kind of decked out in all the gear and everything. So, to finally like not only say that you're committed, but like kind of have let everyone know was just, I mean, it was just cool to see like just the amount of people that I've had that have just reached out and just been like congratulations and just teachers, family, all that kind of stuff, just saying like it's not only did your dad play there, then you get to play there too. It's surreal.
So, I mean, was this when you were a kid? Was this a situation? Would you like wake up on Saturdays and like you're throwing on Georgia gear right away?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, even in the past couple years, or really, past year being recruited, like every Saturday, it's like my sibling, all in Georgia gear, just watching the games. Like my brothers would dog me going, if I'm wearing a different, like say I'm wearing a different team shirt, they're just, like not Georgia. So yeah, it's definitely in the household for sure.
I mean, I know we've talked about this a little bit, but like, how did you manage that? Like, when it changes when you become an actual college football recruit and these programs are recruiting you. Like, how did you manage I grew up in this Georgia fan household, but I'm also got to approach my recruitment the right way.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that I kind of took it as it came. I mean, our recruitment really started to pick up these past few months, but obviously, starting to take these visits, you just kind of have it on the back burner that obviously this is the place that I want to go. But at the same time, you're obviously seeing other places because, maybe it wasn't for me. But I mean, to say that, once they had offered me and it started to get real, I mean, to say that I wasn't kind of always leaning towards Georgia, I was, it's definitely a lie. Like I was always kind of, once, I think it was middle of January and, they got to have a meeting with Kirby and everything. And I've been offered. Like that was just kind of like almost like a green light, just like it's you made it, that kind of. So it was awesome.
I was gonna bring this up a little bit later, but I'll bring it up now since you just did. There was that middle of January. I think you went to that junior day visit and you got the offer.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna give you a hard time here because we talked on the phone right after, and you were trying to downplay it because I asked, I was like, "What was the biggest, like the highlight of your day? What was your favorite
yeah,
part of your day?" And I didn't realize like the second that I had called you that you had tweeted out that you got the Georgia offer. So I didn't even know you had the Georgia offer when I was on the phone with you right at the beginning. And you said something completely. I don't even remember what it was, but you were obviously BSing me because of course getting the Georgia offer was the highlight of your day. Like, what was that day like? Actually, like being like, all right, I'm at the place that I want to be, and I'm being told like you have a spot here if you want it.
yeah. No, for sure. I mean, obviously. kind of it was a pretty regular junior day to start, and then kind of want to say towards the end, I got pulled for a meeting, like from the team meetings, to go meet with Coach Smart, and that was kind of when he, laid it down that I had been offered, and they loved everything about me and all that kind of stuff, and that it was committable. It's not just like an offer, and so right then it's obviously you're already feeling. And then I was able to also connect with some players who I'm still really good friends with now, and that's also a part of the reason that I committed, specifically Graham Houston and Zach Lewis, obviously also Bryson Beaver. I was able to meet him because the same weekend that I was down there, he was on his official visit, so we were able to meet too. So it's pretty cool. Just kind of getting able to meet those group of guys, and then there's a few more who I'm pretty close with too. So just to already have that group before I'm even there is awesome.
Was that the weekend, like that mid-January? Was that when you finally realized, like, wow, my dream school is recruiting me? Or was there a moment before that where you felt like it was materializing in the right direction?
Yeah, I would say I think sometime in I think it was like first or second week in November when we played or when Georgia played Texas.
You
That
can
was
say we now.
when
You can say
yeah,
we.
yeah, that was kind of like that visit itself was where I kind of obviously I had put out. I think I had just posted my season tape or it was just coming to an end, and that was kind of where I was like, I thought with Coach Searles and Rauscher, but that was before he was obviously the head coach, but that was kind of when they had started talking to me like what you did this year was exactly what we wanted to see from you, and I started to kind of think this might be getting real. Then obviously it ended up happening in January, but that was probably where I was, but I wasn't. I mean, coming in January, I didn't necessarily think that I was going to get offered at all. I mean, I knew that there's always a chance, but if you were to ask me, I would say probably not. I don't want to, wouldn't want to get false hope.
Yeah. No. And I know in mid-January, like that was around the time that Coach Searles was the O-line coach. I think he was still the O-line
Yeah.
coach at the time. But how did
Yes.
Georgia handle all that? And I guess for the people that, I mean, a lot of Georgia fans are still getting the no Phil Rauscher a little bit more. Like, what have you seen from him as a coach recruiting you, but also when you got to get up there for spring practice?
Yeah. So Coach Rauscher, I was able to meet him and really connect with him this summer. So really, the whole summer and the whole season, I was sending drills weekly. Just, I mean, it was like religiously. Always sending him my drills, my film from that week, and we would just always talk back and forth on what I needed to work on or what drills were kind of translating into that film. So, I mean, I've built a great relationship with him. And then when I was up there, they had informed me, or in January, they had informed me that this he was going to take the spot most likely. If it all worked out. So I kind of knew. I think it was like maybe a couple weeks before that was going to happen. But then obviously, when it went public that was what was happening, I was happy. I was pumped. I mean, because I talked to Searles about it when I was up there a couple weeks to commit. It's all they basically just switched positions. I mean, Searles is still coaching. He's just not the head coach. He's kind of just stepped down a little bit. So I mean, you have four offensive line coaches. I don't know what you wouldn't like about that. I mean, Coach Warren, Coach Cub, Coach Rauscher, and Coach Searles. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I see that a lot. So just that knowledge and that kind of group is I mean so crucial for the developmental purposes. I mean it's awesome.
No doubt. So when you commit to Georgia, or even when it started getting real with Georgia, knowing that your dad obviously played on the offensive line at Georgia as well, what was his reaction to all this?
Yeah, I mean he was pumped. Like he wasn't. I mean, growing up, like he was never like pushing me to like you need to play for Georgia because obviously like that's not a very realistic goal. Just to make tell your son that like you're gonna play for such a high level program. But I mean, I would say it was probably just winter time of like going into sophomore year like that, like middle of freshman year, where he kind of was like this. If you want to get serious, this is what it's gonna take because obviously he did it. So, once it started to really click and the offer started to come in, and then obviously Georgia offered, I mean, he was pumped. I mean, it was a crazy experience, obviously for me, but also for him, just to kind of see like your son take on what you once did before is pretty cool. I mean, I think it was just, man, I think it's starting to set in now, but just the whole thing is pretty cool for him.
Well, I think it's just we've seen this more and more often in the Georgia world. And I don't know how familiar you are with some other guys that
Yeah.
like AJ Lunnen on the defensive line in the
Yeah.
last class, Asa Wall, tight end in the next recruiting class. I mean, if we factor in like brothers, you got Carter Lucky, Ekene Boko. Like, what do you think it is? Like some guys, they want to go somewhere different than their dad went, or they want to
Yeah.
go somewhere different than their brother went. What do you think it is about Georgia that's almost fostering this legacy culture of sorts?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's just the brotherhood and the culture that's at Georgia. I mean, it's just so like obviously like you met the Bobos too. Like I'm close with them, with Drew and AJ Lunnen. Our dads played together as well, so I was able to I knew him through before he committed too. So it's just I mean, really just the culture and just kind of the whole thing that is set inside of Georgia, I think is just what really pulls people in because obviously, you know, they win and it's such a cool program, but winning and all that stuff really isn't all of it. I mean, obviously, you want to have a program that wins, but just the actual atmosphere when you're there is pretty hard to beat. I think that's why a lot of kids obviously they like it and then they want to go there as well, even if their dad or brother is there. They want to be a Bulldog.
For sure. Does your dad ever pop on the old school film or anything? Show you that show him himself during his playing days or anything like that?
Yeah, he'll pull up the photos, and he's got his helmet in the house and all that kind of stuff. So he'll bring it up every once in a while if like we're playing golf or something and he beats me. He'll make sure he'll tell me who the college athlete was.
Who the real athlete
Especially
was in high
yeah, oh,
school.
yeah,
He's got to.
yeah,
Well, you got to get him on the golf
for
course
sure.
then, so he doesn't have it.
Yes,
But
sir.
all right. So what was his, I mean, obviously him knowing his love for Georgia and everything, like how did he help guide you through the process? I know it became easier once things got real with Georgia, but like how did he help you through that decision-making process along the way?
Yeah, I mean, he was always adamant. Like, I mean, regardless of the decision process, he kind of let me figure out what I wanted. Obviously, he would tell me things that I should look for because I mean, I haven't been to college yet, but I mean, I would say, but leading up and kind of getting me to the point where I would be recruited by by these colleges, especially this year during the season, I was able to have like a late in to school, so I'd have to get into class till around 10 o'clock. So kind of every morning I'd have a plan, written out of what I was going to do today. Whether I was going to work on pass sets, run game, all that kind of stuff. Like Fridays, I kind of work on the plays that we were going to run that week and all that kind of stuff. And I would just say all of that preparation and just the little things that may seem pointless, but all of that just it really added up. I mean, you could obviously throughout my season, I continued to get better, and then obviously got to the point where it was. I mean, I became really a truly recruitable offensive lineman. So just that stuff in general, and then staying on top of me with grades, just being a good person, all that kind of stuff is really just it all added up into where I am today. So I think it's been a
I mean,
big thing that he's contributed to.
for sure. Given his relationship with Kirby and Bobo, and you mentioned a lot of some of the other guys who your dad played with. Like, what when the day you committed and you went up there, like publicly committed, and went up there that Saturday, what were some of the interactions like between those guys? Like, it's got to be kind of weird for Kirby and Mike Bobo being like, man, a guy that we played with, like their son's about to come play for us.
Yeah, I mean, they were just. I mean, obviously, like you said it like it happens a lot more than people may realize. I mean, it's just it's a great thing that to happen. I mean, it's pretty cool that I mean, it's just I mean, it just doesn't. It happens a lot, but not as obviously not that much. But just to have it happen and to be like, it's not like you're taking it like a walk on, but like a good. It was just they all loved it. I mean, they were all super pumped. I mean, just I mean, I don't really know. It's just a really cool experience for them. Obviously, to see that like your teammate's son is coming to play. Obviously, I haven't personally met Asa Wall, but I'm sure it was the same way with him. I mean, just to be able to, dad played, and then you're committing too, and it's pretty cool to see for sure.
No doubt. All right. So for the people that maybe haven't taken the time to throw on the film, I'm gonna give you a chance to give them a scouting session
Yeah.
on yourself. Like tell them about your game, who you are, what you bring to the field, how you describe yourself as an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, if you turn on the highlight tape or any game tape, you'll probably see us. We run the ball. That's our bread and butter. If we need a first down, we're running the ball. What really no matter the yardage. I mean, it'd be 3rd and 8, and we're running the ball. I mean, it's just no question. And you'd also see I move a lot. Like I'll play tight end, right tight end, left tight end, guard. So just kind of that. I mean, if wherever I am, there's a good chance that the ball's going to come behind me. So, I mean, we do pass a little bit, obviously, you got to pass sometimes, but, we're I formation. So we're going to run the veer, run the sweep, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to run it up your gut the whole night. So that's
Cool.
kind of where I would stand. Obviously that fits in well with Georgia's offense and their zone scheme. Obviously the pass stuff, I mean, it's all pretty, not nothing too crazy for me, but obviously just that zone scheme, it really translates well from our offense.
So I know once you're committed, the job, I mean, they're still going to recruit you, of course, but the
Yeah.
job kind of changes from like you're starting to help build the class around you, especially on that offensive line. I know that you guys got 3 linemen in the class already, Kelsey Adams, Abram Eisenhower, and then yourself. Who are Coach Rauscher, Coach Searles, Coach Kugbilla, Coach Erickson? Like, who are they telling you all, like, hey, we want you to try and build relationships with these guys to build an O-line class around you?
Yeah, I mean, so far, obviously Jimmy Kalis, I was able to connect with him when I committed, actually. So I was with him really the whole day. We had dinner after, and then was able to hang out with him that night. So he's a big one that obviously, I mean, he's literally big, but he's he's a huge recruit that we would love to sign. I mean, great guy. I'm actually a friend. One of his teammates was his dad was roommates with my uncle at Notre
Oh,
Dame, and
crazy.
he's also a legacy. So so I knew him. I kind of had a little bit of connection there with Jimmy already. So he's obviously a big one that they want. Obviously, Elijah Morrison, I'm also really good friends with. I think he just posted his top 5, I believe.
Yep.
So he's a big one too. And then there's a couple others that I haven't personally met. I think Jordan, I couldn't tell you. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Agbanoma.
Yeah. But those are I mean, obviously Jimmy is probably the biggest one for me since I've been able to meet him a lot, and Elijah as well. So those are kind of the ones that I've been able to personally know the most. So I think those are the personally that I could help get.
Yeah, cool. Well, there's no question that Georgia is well on its way to building another elite offensive line class. Ty, really appreciate you for hopping on with us. Really appreciate you taking the time. So, and hey, we do a signing day show every year as well. So now that you've come on during the year, I'm already going to be penciling you in for that signing day show.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. No problem.